Tom Brady. What's
My
going on with
man.
Tom Brady?
He's the
Corey, what do you
greatest.
know?
Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, and he has decided to finally hang up his cleats after, was it seven Super Bowls victories, 7 rings, 11 appearances, I believe. Had a really great year this past year. Didn't obviously make it to the Super Bowl again, which is he was hoping to go out.
He was close in that
He was
game.
hoping that he could retire after winning a Super Bowl, and obviously for this year that's not going to happen. But he had a hell of a great year.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
a great season.
it makes you wonder
Yeah, great season.
what could have been. What if Antonio Brown did not dip out on the team those last few weeks? Because he left, and then one of their other key receivers got injured in the playoffs. And man, he came so close. They came back, tied the game up, and then lost at the last second. But I mean, he's amazing. I'm a big fan, just because he's been dedicated to his body, eating an alkaline style diet, similar to the way I eat. He's big focus on pliability, which is a lot of things I've learned in network chiropractic care totally line up with that. And that's why he's been able to stay healthy all these years, even though he gets hit from all sides, is because he's got lots of flexibility in his frame. And, whereas people that don't have pliability or flexibility in their frame, when they get hit from a weird angle, there's no give. And that's why things break, and you'll see players get injured with the same leg or the same side of the body over and over, is because that's where all the muscle tension is in it. And all the work that he's done and all the countless hours of preparation and treatments and stuff that he gets, that's why he went the distance. He went further than anybody has ever gone or expected to go. I was hoping to see another season or two out of him, but because he had always said he wanted to play till he was 45, but
Or a little
Father
past that, I need
Time
to say.
came for Mr. Tom Brady.
I mean, I think that's reasonable. He has a couple kids that are in an age range where they need their father right there, and he needs to enjoy his time with them. I know the media was going all crazy, blaming his wife. They shouldn't be doing that, attacking his wife like
She's
that.
his biggest cheerleader and biggest fan.
Correct. She's been there since day one. Shouldn't be attacking her like that. And if the man wants to retire, the man wants to retire. No, hate towards him. Yes, we'll be losing someone from that, a great player from the NFL, but I mean,
Yeah, now that
duty
he's
calls.
retired, I'd love to interview him and his wife. That would be a great interview.
He did have a good season. He had 17 games. He appeared in all of them, had 5,316 passing yards plus 43 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, and 719 attempts. That's what...
719 pass attempts, I assume.
Correct. And he appeared in top 100 NFL players of 2021. He placed number 4.
In other words, he was the 4th top player in the whole entire NFL at 44 years old?
And 44, yeah.
44 years old. Just goes to show, if you take care of your body and you eat healthy, you exercise, you weight train, doesn't mean you got to be a big, bulky dude, because obviously I'm not a big, bulky guy, but I'm fit and I'm in shape, and I look damn good for somebody that just turned 52, especially comparing them to a lot of my friends and people I grew up with. Man, it's like, you don't take care of your body, it really ages you fast. Because I think it's like 3 or 4 years is the average length of most people's NFL career. And for him to go two plus decades and play at the level, go out and have a season like he had this year, just that's incredible. Just amazing. But he's willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. He was willing to be really super strict with his diet, whereas most of the other guys in the NFL are not. And
he was dedicated
that's
to the
how
game.
he was able to go further than anybody has ever gone. Granted, he was a quarterback, so he's not going to get hit as much as like a running back or somebody in the line, but to survive that many decades where you get hit blindside all the time in every game, hit from every direction, that's just absolutely incredible.
7-time Super Bowl champion, all-time NFL passing leader, 3-time league MVP. I think he was getting another one, or he was against another player. But my thing is, Oh, this was before when he had 1 year left of the contract, but that came to end when he retired. Do you think in the next couple of years will he continue his routine of eating healthy, or you think he's gonna sit back, grab his little beers, enjoy life a little bit with his kids, eat what he couldn't eat before, or you think he's gonna stay in his same routine? Because it really
Well, he's
depends.
not going to do all the things that he did before. Like even in his what he posted to Instagram, just the level of dedication, the time commitment, he just wasn't willing to do that for another year, and so therefore that's why he bailed out. So a lot of the things that he did with practicing and film study and all that stuff, I don't think he's going to do that because he
No,
doesn't
no,
need
not
to. But
that.
I don't know. Is he going to go into coaching? Will he go into broadcasting? Will he just be a very successful entrepreneur?
I could see him
He and
as a
his
high school
wife and
coach.
his he and his wife invest in real estate, and they've done well in it. So I would imagine they'll probably keep doing those things. They did just buy a place down in South Florida on I forget what the little island is. A very secure place. There's only like I think 40, 50 lots
Hmm.
in the whole island. Ivanka and Jared live there. Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. Um, well, I'm excited to see what he does next. I'm sure he'll be doing the TB12 stuff that he does, and they'll be probably continuing to train athletes and other uh, peak performance oriented type of athletes.
Maybe his kids, if they pursue any kind of sports career
I don't know. His kids are pretty young. I think
when they're a
they're
little older, like maybe
maybe I don't know.
that'd be cool.
It
Think
was
about it.
interesting because he had always said that there's nothing he loved more than football, but now he's riding off into the sunset.
Hmm. We shall see what he will do. But this was the this was his the game, the last game before they were cut from the playoffs. On Sunday, which was a couple weeks back, they faced the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round of the playoffs. Tom Brady pushed his team, making a comeback from 27-3 in the third quarter. The Bucks were down but managed to catch up. Brady tied their opponent with 42 seconds to play, but Rams won on a walk-off field goal. Bucks fell short by 3
Yeah,
points,
the
30-27.
Bucks defense folded on that last drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they were tired, but
But they were close. They were super
they were
close.
so close.
Yep. And before, like after that whole game, everyone was questioning, will he retire? Will he not? It was still up in the air.
Well,
But
it was
yeah.
interesting when Brett Favre announced when he was playing for Minnesota that he was going to retire, and then several of his teammates flew to kind of twist his arm and say, "Come on, one more year. We were so close last year," and he was like, "Ah." So he agreed, and he had a great year. And but that he played one more year, and he got the hell beat out of him that last year. He Favre took so many hits, but I loved watching him play, and I was sad to see him go. I was sad to see Peyton Manning go. Sad to
Mm.
see Tom Brady go.
But hey, we have a new generation. We have the youngsters, the rookies are that came into the league, and probably who knows, they could be like the next Tom Brady in a couple years
There'll be
and stuff like
somebody
that.
else that'll do great. I don't know about his level, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years. He's he's taken things to a level that nobody else has. His obsession with the game and his obsession with taking care of his body has been unmatched. But the example is there, the pattern is there, and the question is, who will follow that? Because he trained
Correct.
and worked with a lot of his teammates and taught them these things. And
Hmm.
just like what I experienced with getting people to drink the green juice and the smoothies and the other things and get the network care stuff, most people won't do it. They won't stick with it long term. And so it'll be interesting to see because like Wayne Dyer used to say, it's never crowded along the extra mile, and most people are not willing to go the extra mile. Most people are not willing to be dedicated and do
Hmm.
all those little things that he was willing to do for 2+ decades. That's why his record is just so far beyond what anybody else had ever done.
His head was always in the game every season, each season.
He
Which
loved
is
it. He was obsessed with it.
passionate, you can call it. Very
Yeah.
passionate. And when someone's passionate about something, you can't really get that idea in the head to do something else that's different. Like if they have a routine every day to do, they're gonna do it, no matter what. And obviously, you're gonna have other athletes who are not gonna do that. They're gonna just drink a little bit on the side. But if you want to get to a level like Tom Brady or anyone else did in life and try to be that role model and have others follow, you're going to dedicate yourself and show them what to do. And if they want to follow, it's up to them. But it's great that there's people like that, because you see other athletes who are distracted and they're not making their way up. They're just staying there and they're playing the game. But if you want to be someone, you want to be that role model, because that's another thing when it comes to athletes. Tom Brady knows that there's so many young boys who want to be like them, like him, or love him so much that they can't wait to like be in the game because they think of him or something like that, you know?
Well, several of
So
the guys that are playing now, I've seen them come up to him and talk to him and tell him that they grew up watching him play and they wanted to be Tom Brady someday, and now they're a quarterback in their own team.
look at that. Look at that. That, you know, and
So
to who knows like how Tom Brady feels about that too, hearing these people come up to him and saying, like, hey, you inspired me and look what I'm doing. I'm just like following your footsteps. So like to him that must be feeling good, because he's doing
he's leading by example.
correct. 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 So sad to see him though, but I admire his work and what he has done, because that shows when someone's passionate and dedicated to the game.
It was a hell of a ride.
Hell of a ride. But now for the Tampa Bays, they have currently have two backup quarterbacks. So we don't know. We're still thinking who might be taking his spot, but we have NFL journeyman Blaine Gabbert and 2021 second round draft pick Kyle Trask, who are the backup quarterbacks for the Tampa Bay. But before we get into the retiring posts, there were two reporters that said earlier
in the week.
That he retired, but he wasn't
Jeff
supposed
Darlington and Adam Schefter, Shetler,
Correct.
whatever.
I don't know where.
And they were both. So they both came out and announced he was retiring, and then later that day, his dad said Tom hasn't made a decision yet.
But see, that's another thing when it comes to the media and the journalists. Like, you have to be careful. You cannot just say right away. And there was one thing, like, the source is Tom Brady. If it's not coming from Tom Brady, you shouldn't be reporting to anything about it, because that was a very delicate
Maybe
story.
they knew people that were close to Tom, and they let it slip that he was planning on dipping out. And
but
so
it has to come from Tom Brady's mouth. He's the one who's supposed to do it. And he did it in the most sweetest way. I think with the Instagram post and with the different slides and going into detail.
It was a nice letter that he wrote.
It was a nice goodbye.
Very gracious.
I do that.
Very
dedicated, humble,
oriented.
and there. Leader. But he did say in the Instagram post that obviously stands out, quote, not going to make that competitive commitment anymore, end quote. So obviously, like you said, the routines and like
he got to a place where the internal enthusiasm was not there. Just like when I was getting out of real estate, or when I made the decision to leave the construction industry, the internal enthusiasm wasn't there. I knew it was time to move into the next chapter of my life, and obviously he's there. We all have these things happen in life.
Correct. So we all wish him the best of luck. We are excited to see his future. Who knows what Tom Brady's going to bring to the table. It's exciting to see that. But he definitely had a hell of a ride. Few years. Everyone's going to miss him. You think that the Super Bowl is going to... Do you think they're going to like do a dedication to him or anything? No?
I don't know. Well, the Rams are in the Super Bowl, and so they're going to be playing in their own home stadium. And what was interesting with last year, when the Buccaneers won, the Super Bowl was actually in Tampa Bay Stadium. And so he was the first quarterback, and the Tampa Bay Bucs were the first team to ever win the Super Bowl in their home stadium. That's never happened in, 50, 60 Super Bowls, however many it's been. So that was cool. And now the LA Rams have a chance, and they're a really damn good team.
Oh, yeah.
They have a chance to do the same thing. So it's never been done before. Then there's a good possibility that the Rams do it as well. And so what's interesting is, like, when you look at stuff like that, you look like Roger Bannister, the guy that broke the 1 minute mile. So he was able to run a full mile in a minute. And scientists, everybody before he did that, had said that it was physically impossible for a human being to run fast enough. Your heart would explode in your chest if you tried to run a mile in under a minute. And he was the first guy to do it. And then after he did it, within a short period of time, there was 3 or 4 other people that did it. And it was because he showed that it was possible. And because he showed that it was possible, he gave other people the confidence and the courage to believe in themselves that they could do it also. And they did. That's what's always so fascinating about stuff like that.
That's super cool. Super cool. That shows. No, I get that. When you have been.
The word lead means to go first. And Tom Brady did so many things first that most people had not, which was just incredible.
Yeah. What I'm saying is he has these memories, stories to tell when his kids are older. Obviously, they're going to see on the internet, but hearing the stories from him firsthand.
Well, they were with him all the time. They were at all the games with his wife.
But they're a little young, correct? Like, will they still
They look like they're 10, 12 years old, something like that.
They will remember some of it.
Probably, maybe 13, his oldest son, I think.
But maybe when they were, like, youngest, the most youngest, when Tom Brady was, like, when he still won and they obviously were younger or stuff like that, stories to tell. And one thing I wanted to mention was, obviously, you're going to have people reacting to his retirement. People are sad about it. But I think Shaq was joking in a way. But he tweeted one thing, and it was so blunt with his reply. And it said, quote, "No, man, get your butt up and do one more year," end quote. So, obviously, Shaq looks like he is a number one supporter. And it was just funny to see this quote because he's like, damn, I know, just get up, do one more year. But obviously, he's going to stay in. It just shows that there's people that would love to see him play again, but
I don't know. Maybe the Gronk and the rest of the guys can talk him into one more year.
But see, there was he did say he wanted to do until 45, but he may do a year or more after that. I thought he was going to do like maybe until 46, if anything. But if it was just too much, obviously it was like a thrilling ride, like he said. You just get to a point
where you're just like, I got to the same place when I was in real estate. I was just like, man, I just don't have the same enthusiasm for this business that I once did. And that's when I knew it was time to do something else. And then I started asking the question, what would I do if I had to start all over? Would I still stay in real estate or would I do something else? And that's when I came up with the idea I'm going to become a life coach. I'm going to write a book.
There you go.
Become a life coach.
I low-key think Tom Brady has like a little plan set for his future. Like he knows what he wants to do. I think he's done with the competitive side, but I think he's ready for the next chapter and he knows what he's trying to do. I think. Gives me that feeling, if that makes sense. Because don't get me wrong, if you're about to end something, you're going to have a plan B. Like, what are you going to do afterwards? Like, you're going to have that low key, but you're not going to announce it.
He and his wife are already successful real estate investors. So
I mean, he can do still more of that, but maybe he wants to do something else with, like, sports, coaching, or something like that. That would be exciting. Oh, yeah. And if he does, everybody's still going to follow him. They're going to be like, oh, my God, Tom Brady. He used to be in the NFL. He used to be... like, all that kind of stuff when they see him if he does other new things. But yeah, we hope the best for you, Tom Brady. I'm Esty, just to let you know.
Hi, I'm Esty.
All right.
Ooh, pick me. Pick me, Tom.